Hey, it's Brad Seaman with the Seaman team down in sunny San Diego, Keller Williams. I'm so excited. I've got Roy True and Ryan Loeding on the phone. Roy is a property manager across 3 states in Las Vegas, Phoenix, and San Diego. And Ryan is an agent with Keller Williams in Phoenix. Guys, we've been talking about property management, real estate, and what's going on right now. Let's get into it and let's share what we're seeing in our current situations. What's out there? What are you seeing out there?
Ryan, if you want me to hop in, I'll start off. Roy True with GoldenWest Management, property management, like Brad said, Vegas, San Diego, and Phoenix. The biggest thing, Brad, is we've got an evolving situation across all 3 of our markets. So everything is a little bit different in San Diego than it is in Vegas, a little as it is in Phoenix. Us being just property managers, we work directly with our landlords and tenants and giving them professional advice, resources, everything we can update our clients with. That's our goal, to be proactive, get out ahead of this and try to get as much of the information we're getting fed in to our clients and advising the best routes to take, best strategies to take.
So let's talk owners for a second, Roy. We've got owners that are potentially not going to see any rents in the coming months. April 1 to 5th is going to be a big time where we'll have some leading indicators as to how many people won't be able to pay rent. But I think even more so, May. Really seeing the May market, that second 30 days after people have been laid off. We're seeing all this unemployment. What are you doing? What are you advising your owners right now? What kind of resources can they tap into to make sure they can weather the storm?
That's a great question. I mean, like you said, it's constantly evolving. We'll see a lot over the next couple weeks here, but all projections, everything we're hearing is to be ready for the next 3 to 4 months. Because people that are losing their jobs now, and like we were talking, it's not just the service industries, it's your retail people, your chiropractors, everybody's going to get affected by this. So the main things we're focusing on is trying to educate all of our clients. Number one, check with your lender. Once rent's not coming in, each market is taking it case by case, and it's a little bit different where we have moratoriums in San Diego on eviction, not only for residential tenants, but commercial tenants, to Phoenix, where we are still able to process eviction. In Vegas, the market's going to get hit especially hard with the business mix and industry that's there. So, taking it as much as you can, staying away from information you might be getting on Facebook. Check with your professional, check with your realtor, check with your lender, check with your property manager. This is why we're here for these kind of situations.
Great, Roy. And Ryan, you're in Phoenix. You're not only a broker representing buyers, sellers, and investors, but you also own quite a few properties yourself. What do you see in the Phoenix market?
So we're kind of seeing the same with the service industries, the ones that are the most laid off right now. But I reached out to a couple of my tenants just checking on some repairs that we had done this week. I was doing a re-acrylic on a tub, and my tenant actually texted me back and said, "Hey, I'm out of work. I can make my April rent. I have applied for unemployment." I had actually rolled over her deposits over the first 3 months, and we're only in a month 2. So I actually said, "Hey, if you can just get me what you can for rent." The biggest thing is the power companies and electric companies have been directed by the governor's office, not to be shutting anything off. I said, let's get the roof still over your head. You're not driving, get the unemployment. I'm here for you, what you need, but let's see what you can to get paid. And I'm just trying to make it so that they're not too far in the rears, but I wanted to start being proactive with myself, just reaching out, not saying like, hey, here's what we're doing, but I'm just trying to get their financial situation. I do have a couple Section 8 style tenants, so I know we'll get rent there, but I also keep a very healthy reserve. We keep $3,500 per door for multifamily, $5,000 on single family, because I could potentially be responsible for AC repairs, roof repairs, a lot of those kind of things this year. So I've always kept a very healthy reserve, not for this reason, more or less for repairs, but I'm glad that I've been kind of pre-prepared for that, because I don't know how long this could go on for me.
And I think that you've got a lot of great points, and reserves are key right now. So if you're an owner in any of the markets, Phoenix, San Diego, Vegas, wherever you are, making sure that you've got some money set aside. We also talk about some creative ways like home warranties to take a look, and maybe we can defer some of these costs of major repairs and have an insurance policy in case something shows up. But, you know, a lot of people right now are not as worried about the repairs. They're worried about the rent being paid, right? So they know that, hey, April payment might be made, but what about May? So what resources are out there? I know I've commented to quite a few of my clients to reach out to their lender right away and just find out if they're willing to do forbearance or anything that they can do to help support them in this time. But what other resources are out there? What else can homeowners do in order to kind of weather the storm?
I'd say with rates being low, you could do cash out refis. I know, like I said, the plus again in Phoenix, we've been about that 7% uptick in appreciation. We also get, you know, most of our properties that we have are, you know, 5 to 6 if you're buying them now, cap rates. I mean, I've got a couple properties that are 11 and 14. So like I said, I've been able to build some of those cash reserves, but I also, this last year, we got creative with a community bank here, and we took, we kind of took our entire portfolio, bundled that, and then took out HELOCs back against, which sit in accounts that we have access to. So if you're afraid of those getting pulled, you know, one of the things we were talking about earlier is possibly pulling that into your account. Maybe you pay 5-6%, but the money gets paid out of that just as an extra reserve to give you that, you know, 5, 6, 7, maybe 12 months of reserves, depending on how long this would go on.
Home equity lines are one of the first lines that the banks will tighten up on, and they can't call the note due if you've already pulled the money out, right? So if you pull that money and put it in your bank, even if you're willing to pay the little bit of interest for the 60 or 90 days to weather the storm, at least you have it out and they can't pull it back from you. So I'm not telling everybody to run out and do it right away, but if you are concerned or you don't have the reserves in hand, it might be an option for you to have that money in the bank just in case, even if you're paying a little bit of interest to hold it. And that way the bank, you know, a month from now, it doesn't pull the plug on you. So just one option, something to look at.
Well, and even my wife and I, we bought our rental property in, I think it was in January. I paid cash because we had to get it closed fast before it foreclosed on the previous owner. But right now I'm doing actually a cash out refi because again, just trying to put extra funds back in our account because we are still flipping houses with that money. We still have, you know, reserves that we're trying to keep. We've got our new development project going down. So I'm trying to get the money infused back in the account because, yeah, rates are still low, money's still cheap, but you know, like you were saying, some of those other ones, if it's just in a HELOC with an ability to drag, that's the ones the banks can cancel, pull back. We haven't done that.
Yeah. Excellent. So,
I'd like, you know, just for your smaller, I mean, your large investors like Ryan, they have experience, they have the knowledge base to prepare for a situation like this. What about those one-off landlords who just have one extra property? You know, missing a mortgage for them, it's detrimental. I mean, a month of vacancy or 2 months of vacancy, it's the same thing as not having rent coming in the door from an emergency. There's definitely going to be assistance out there. It's just being proactive, looking at that, going to a property manager. That's what we're here for, is to advise you on these situations. So be ready. You know, we're being proactive with tenants that are contacting and reaching out to us, setting up payment plans. You know, one of the things I definitely would stay away from is just refunding a security deposit. I saw that information floating out there, refunding security deposits back to the tenants to help them at this time. It's more about working, and the government really wants lenders, managers, tenants, landlords, all to work together so that we don't have that much government guiding on everything we do. So the more we can get and reach out with our tenants, set up payment plans, that every case is going to be different. So take it case by case. You know, if you're not working with a property manager, if you're a landlord doing this on your own, it might be a good time to reach out to a professional just to kind of educate yourself. We're always willing to help and talk. So that's just something I wanted to add.
I think proactivity is the name of the game right now. We talked earlier when we were off camera about how we're all focused on health right now, right? This is all about health and making sure that we can slow this curve and do whatever we can to protect others that are around us. But being proactive in the economic side and making sure that you're reaching out to your lender if you're going to have a problem. if you're a tenant, reach out to the owner or the property manager. If you're an owner, talk to people that have resources and the ability to direct you in the right place. All these things are really, really important right now. And if you sit back, I can guarantee in 30 days, the lenders are going to be flooded. The SBA loans are going to be flooded. The property managers are going to be overwhelmed with the number of conversations that are being had from owners and tenants. So if you think there's going to be something that's going to be a problem, make sure you're talking to the right professionals right now.
That's a great point. I mean, we're all in this together, Brad, all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. What about our different markets? So let's talk real quick, and I don't want to keep everybody's time too long today, but what about Phoenix, Vegas, and San Diego? What differences are we seeing in those markets, and what are you anticipating to come in the next 60 days?
Well, I know a lot of people saw that most of the big iBuyers pulled out because I think a lot of their funding is pulled from the market side, but my buyers under 325, I mean, I'm still writing multiple counter offers for anything, multiple showings. We've got such a lack of inventory that it is really affecting people what they're paying. And then we're running into some of the appraisal issues and the FHA buyers that don't have the additional money to come up, and a seller that thinks their house is worth $20,000 more than it is. So we have ran into some of that, and I'm sure we're going to continue to see that over the next few months, because there are people that want to get into homes, and if they know their job's secure, they don't want to be, paying the landlord's mortgage anymore.
And Ryan, you're not locked down, correct? Phoenix currently is.
No, we are. They suggested isolation. So, I mean, I'm still going to the grocery store. Our restaurants are all takeout. But yeah, we're not quarantined at all. Or like LA, I just saw they extended another 2 months of just inside only. It's
not inside only, but it's certainly restricted to only essential activities in California. Yeah. San Diego has been pretty restrictive. People are still out there looking at properties. They're doing virtual showings, but real estate's been deemed non-essential in California. And it's kind of interesting because it is essential in so many different ways. We have homeless, sellers that just sold their homes and need to buy another one, and all sorts of different situations that are required for them to get somewhere. So a little bit different in those markets where Phoenix not necessarily is as restrictive, but it might anticipate that it shows up within the next, 14 days. You don't know.
And we are deemed essential here. The governor said that we are essential. I think part of it too is, Maricopa County, which Phoenix is part of, is, last 2 years, we were the #1 relocation market in the United States. It's like 241 people a day. So yeah, if you've got that many people moving here and the hotels are trying to limit, you have to put those people somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you seeing anything different in Vegas there, Roy? I know that there's a lot of service industry in Vegas. What are you expecting there?
Yeah, I mean, to see the Strip completely shut down is just, it's like the apocalypse look to it. It's just crazy to see nobody out in Vegas. The biggest effect is it's going to be on our tenants. I mean, every casino is shut down. Hotels are shut down. And they're being proactive about looking for people who are operating illegally. I mean, people are our office manager's husband is a general manager at a restaurant. They kept 5 people and laid off 200. I mean, people are going on unemployment left and right. I mean, it's a very, troublesome time, but we're going to get through this. It's all about, like we've been talking, setting up the right plans. The Vegas market is a little bit different in Phoenix. It doesn't have the same infrastructure that Phoenix has. So we're heavily reliant on that, on our service industry. So it's out of the 3 markets we manage in, it's the one that we think will be hit the hardest in regards to non-payment of rents. We're expecting anywhere from 20 to 30% of delayed or non-rent payments. So, as we can guide our tenants to places where they can get assistance, that's going to be key for us there.
That's great. Yeah, and thank you for sharing that, because they all have different dynamics. San Diego is much different than Phoenix and Vegas. They're all different levels of service workers and different economic dynamics. So, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me. Would you both share just real quick how people can get a hold of you?
Ryan Loeding, my cell phone is 623-695-8718, based out of Gilbert. We handle the whole Phoenix area. Would love to help.
Thanks, Ryan.
And Roy True, GoldenWest Management, Vegas, Phoenix, San Diego. We're here to help. You can go to our website, goldenwestmanagement.com. You can call me directly. Our office number for Vegas, 702-685-7696. But we have an easy way to get in contact with us. Just request to talk to a manager. It's most likely that's going to be me calling you. So you can do that straight through my website or call me at 858-692-5070.
Excellent. It's Brad Seaman from San Diego, 619-871-3141 or seamanteam.com, SEAMAN team.com. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming on. And I think a lot of great information was shared today. And let's do this again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Brad.